Hi, my name is Sam, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make your own homemade sourdough yeast starter cultures. All it is three simple ingredients: flour, water, and thyme. This recipe has been used since about 5000 BCE, and it's delicious, it's simple, and you can do it at home too. So what starter actually is it is flour and water that we're trying to use to feed wild yeast that we have in the air and on our hands. And what that wild yeast will end up doing is it'll leaven and raise our bread so that way we can have a nice, fluffy, crunchy, delicious bread that we're used to. So what we want to do to get started is we're going to need 50 grams of flour, 50 grams of water. That's it. At the very beginning, you just need to pour them into a bowl and mix thoroughly. I already have some mixed right here. I just did this. This is going to be about what you get. It's just a little lump. It looks like classic dough. You want to leave this on your counter for about 12 hours. Don't touch it, just leave it alone. What it's going to be doing is it's going to be collecting the wild yeast in the air, and hopefully is when the yeast gets onto the dough, it'll feed onto the flour and it will actually begin reproducing, creating more. The next day, you're going to want to take this out, put it into a mason jar like this one, and you're going to feed it another 50 grams of water and flour. Just mix it in there, stir it up. Leave it alone for another 12 hours. Like I said, a major part of this recipe is time. You have to leave it alone and let it grow so the yeast has time to reproduce and concentrate in enough that we can use it in our bread. Day 3. That's what this is. So this is a day 3 culture. It's much like our original starter. It doesn't have as much culture as we need for it to actually grow bread yet. There's a little bit of bubbles, but there's not enough. The bubbles really indicate that the yeast is starting to grow and ferment. It doesn't have a good sour smell yet that we're kind of going for, because that's what gives our flavor to our sourdough breads. So we're also going to need to feed this day 4 150 grams of flour and water in equal proportions. And then you're also going to discard 100 grams of this. If we don't discard it, we're going to end up having a lot of flour and a lot of water, and our starter's just going to get too big and it'll become a little bit of an expensive pet to continually upkeep. Throughout the week, we're going to feed equal proportions of flour and water, and we're also going to discard half of it each day. So this is up until week 7. So this is my week 7 cultures. As you can see, there is a lot of bubbles all around. That means there's a lot of active growing yeast cultures within this. The top, it's nice, it's springy, and it has a really, really nice sour, almost vinegary smell. That's what gives that sourdough its nice punch, and when you bite into it, it's fresh and not just the plain white breads. The yeast cultures in this are completely ready to bake, and it will leaven our bread. So, at the end of the day, you'll be able to have yeast cultures in high enough concentration, like this one, that you can use it in a simple bread recipe. I personally baked some bread this morning, so this is my yeast culture. I said this is day 7, but in reality, it's more like week 3. This is my the cultures I've been using and continuously refeeding so I can bake my own breads. Today, with my cultures, I was able to make a rosemary olive oil bread. See, it makes a nice crust. It's very springy, it's crispy, and I'm sure it's going to be absolutely delicious. So, today, I hope you learned enough about the sourdough cultures that you have interest in yourself, and you can go out and make your own. By using this recipe, you'll be continuing a age-old tradition that your ancestors used. And with your help, hopefully we can make this recipe last another 1,000 more. Thank you.